has ever been out to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, which they haven't. Now, you guys know, and ladies, that in that 1 week's period of time, I have almost 1 million people walk around the grounds at Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Whitman Field, and you will not see a piece of paper on the ground anywhere in that 1 week's time. Do the same thing here at the Garden Airshow, please. If you see a piece of paper, no big deal. That looks big. That's a minute for the whole listen to that.
I'm going to slip one more in here, too. I haven't had the CA this today to actually say something. But what few smokers there are left in the world, there's no smoking on any of these airplanes. There are tens and sometimes hundreds of gallons of high-octane aviation fuel on them. So anybody that's seen smoking around the aircraft will be asked to leave.
If you see someone smoking and ask them to put it out, and they don't, find yourself a bucket of water and put it out for them. Just make sure you're not running, that's all. We've got to see our PT aircraft take off board. Now we're going to have the L-birds take off, which are flying. I missed them. Busy back here. Okay, good. The PT's here. Coming by now, this was Bruce Wellman, an L-16. Now, you look at these little airplanes. Johnny, you know these L-birds. You're watching the old World War II movies, TV shows, History Channel. You'll see these L-birds on D-Day. They actually had these airplanes on the landing craft. Wings off, fuselage off. They carry the fuselage on the shoulder, put the wings off the airplane on the shoulder, take off to the beach. You think, well, what the devil good is a little 65 horse Continental or high flow engine power? Airplane that cruises at maybe 75 miles an hour, about an 85 downhill, push everything forward, get all 65 bunnies working for you. What good is that in a military basis? These airplanes, well, look, facts of 4 air controls. They could fly over the enemy line, see where the enemy was, radio back to our guns, say, launch over here, this is where you need to fire. They had thousands of military artillery shells at their capability to tell our boys where to fire. So it's a very, very capable and well-proven airplane.
And Howdy, do you know what the aircraft was that captured the last German aircraft in World War II?
Throw it at me, John.
It was an L-bird. They flew up and saw a German liaison aircraft, pulled out their service revolver, and forced them to the ground.
In the PT-23, the round-engine airplane, the second one flying past us, that's Mr. Paul Quinn flying that airplane. And Rich Waller coming back out, and in this particular airplane, this was Paul Poparezzi actually flew this airplane. Rich had a long videotape where he had an interview with Paul Poparezzi, who died yesterday, the president, leader of the EAH, International EAA. This L-3 is Mr. Gene Ostrom flying live for us today. And Paul has another L-3. This is Paul Smith, his lower. Of course, the L did stand for liaison. PT was a primary trainer airplane. I don't know what John Martin, airport manager, did to get this weather this weekend. We're going to take, got his tools out, made his own weather, got birds flying by one more time. Again, this is the PT-26 flying by. Yeah, I can see it's got a canopy on it. Okay, this is 26 with a canopy. Now, see another one flying to the right. The Mike is flying for us today. Take your airplane ride. That is a PT-19, the open cockpit version. Now, if you want to learn anything about these airplanes, I got to ask you, Mr. Mark Vaness flying the PT-26, which is his lead airplane coming by right now. He builds and rebuilds these airplanes with his dad, Joe Vaness. He used to be based right here at New Garden Airport.
They really have become a world-famous operation on restoring these aircraft. They've done many of them in the U.S. I think there's actually one flying in Denmark that they did. They've had some that have been shipped here to be restored, shipped overseas. They've been a real asset to the warbird community. Mark now is going to, in addition to Fairchild, has done a multi-vibrator, and he's working on some of the bigger aircraft.
Fairchild, the manufacturing plant was out in Western Maryland, Hagerstown area was the Fairchild plant, and they built the 810 Warthog out there also. A Thunderbolt 810, which are, well, Justin flying the BD5 Microjets this afternoon. He does fly Warthogs also. That's a side shot. There's Vaness flying by right now. Mr. Mark Vaness in his PT-26 aircraft. Now they're powered by an inline 4.6 on a radial Ranger engine. Upside down engine, where the cylinder's actually pointing down to the ground. Of course, our PT-23 is a round radial engine, the Continental in front of that aircraft.
This cylinder's pointing every which way.
If you're walking around any of the airplanes today, please do not touch the airplanes. Yeah, the warbirds are big and beefy and that kind of stuff, but they are fabric covered places. We don't want you poking holes in anybody's fabric. If you see somebody's airplane, just stop and ask the owner to follow, and I guarantee you they will tell you more than you ever wanted to know about that airplane. But the best thing to do is not touch the airplanes. Don't sit on the wheel pads. That's the fancy things that cover the tires of the airplane. Do not sit on them, do not step on them. Most of them say no step, and there's a reason for that.
Please don't try to reach up and put your little kid in the seat.
Don't let them hang on a prop. I mean, everything is safety oriented when it comes to aviation. We don't want the airplane, well, starting up accidentally. And it can happen if you have a bad mag switch, a bad ground wire, one of the mags. The engine could start, but most of them are very well, most all the airplanes are very well maintained around here. But in other words, just don't touch it if you don't have that problem. If you see somebody touching somebody else's airplane, ask them not to do that. If you're walking around with an umbrella over your shoulder or a chair, lawn chair, be careful around the airplane. Hey Joe, look at this. You turn around real quick and you poke a hole inside somebody's airplane because the leg of that chair just went through the fabric. The owner's going to be a little bit upset with you.
You know, if you look at the two Ranger-powered Fairchilds, the PT-19 and PT-26, your question would be, why do they spend the money on the canopy? Why not just open canopy like the PT-19? You know, why do they need anything else? Well, the fact is, Fairchild started selling these things in Canada. And Canada didn't train in the southern part of the United States. They put canopies on them so their pilots wouldn't freeze to death during training. Birds and our PTs are taxiing back. You'll notice a little bit different sound over here now as Mike Siliberti fires up the big radial engine on that Su-31. For those of you, few of the uninitiated, you'll notice that the radial engines have just a little different tone. Most people think of that as music in the aviation world. But Howdy, do you know why it sounds a little different than all these other engines?
No, John, tell me why.
Gee, I was surprised you didn't know that. I think it's because they all, at least every one of them here, has an odd number of cylinders. And so it just gives it that nice radial engine sound. Now you may notice the one that Mike's flying, It didn't start backwards, okay? It looks like the propeller is turning the wrong way, but I don't think he's going to back up. I think it's running okay. I believe that engine was made in the East Bloc countries, and many of the British engines and many of the Russian and other East Bloc country engines all rotate in a direction opposite that of the engines made in the United States. It's interesting. The airplane flies just as well. You'll see Mike does some spectacular things with this. You will see that it's a little different to fly. It rolls a different direction easier. It hammerheads in a different direction, all because of the torque of that engine.
Now watch this. Take a look at Mike's airplane as he taxis. It's Mike Celebrity. He bases his airplane over in Wilmington right now. It's a beefy airplane, John. Look at it. Built big. It's tough. It looks like a bulldog. You know, when you look at people, they've had their pet dog for years, and they start to look like their dog again.
He's got a tough airplane. You know, the Russians like big stuff. And all their aerobatic airplanes have all been built around that radial engine, big solid airplanes. And this is certainly one of them. You know, there was an Su-26, I believe, was the first one. It was a single seat, carried almost no gasoline. This one is a little more civilized, has a little bit bigger gas tank in it, but still the same world-class, high-performance airplane.